I am going on a journey starting right now. My goal for this journey is to end at 170 pounds with 10% body fat. Most of my life, I've been a pretty small guy. As a freshman in high school, I wrestled 103 pounds. By the time I was a senior, I was wrestling 135 pounds. When I graduated high school, I was about 150 pounds. And I stayed 150 pounds for years and years. I think I was about 27 when I finally broke the 160. This is a picture when I decided to start taking weight training seriously. I had never really hit the weights really hard for a consistent amount of time. Sure, in high school, I went to gym class and they had us lift weights there, or I lifted from time to time, a week here and a week there, but I never had any sort of consistency and I never had any sort of program that I followed. In this picture, that was the moment I decided to get a program and to do some consistent work. And I worked consistently and hard for 3 months. 3 months later, I made this transformation. And that is the crazy thing about being a brand new lifter. You make insane gains very quickly. In your first year, that's when you're considered a newbie. You can expect to put on about 20 pounds of muscle. My biggest problem again has been consistency. The reason I haven't been consistent is because I've had so many injuries. My elbows, which by the way, I feel like are like one of the worst injuries to have for weightlifting. Everything you do besides legs needs your elbows to work properly. And so it's time to start being smarter about my lifting and keep it consistent for years. What are your goals? I would love to hear what you savages are working on yourselves. Put it down in the comments below and I will respond to it. If I have advice to give, I'll give it. However, I'm also learning all of this myself. So let's go on this journey and learn together. But I love to interact with you, so please leave a comment down below what your goal is. It doesn't even have to be fitness. I just want to know what you're working on right now. My goal right now of 170 pounds at 10% body fat is probably going to require me to gain another 20 pounds because right now I am 150 pounds and about anywhere between 12 to 18% body fat. I don't have a really good idea, but I'm guessing I'm closer to the 12 right now. I have a DEXA scan at the end of this month to find out exactly where I'm at, so I know exactly how much muscle I need to gain to be at 170 and 10% body fat. Like I said, I think it's about 20 pounds. That's probably going to take me anywhere between a year and a half to 3.5 years. That's the hope, and that's if I'm consistent and can keep myself from getting injured again. The average man can expect to put anywhere between 10 and 20 pounds on in their first year of training. That's like 65% of your entire natural gains in that 1 year. Every year after that, you have to do harder work for less gains. I am guessing since that very first picture, I've put anywhere between 5 and 10 pounds of muscle on, which means for my natural genetic potential, I have anywhere from 20 to 40 more pounds left. I'm hoping I have about 30 pounds left. That's probably somewhat realistic, but I don't know. Maybe my genes aren't that great and I don't even have that left. I'm only 150 pounds, like I said, and it should be pretty reasonable for me to think at 5'10" that I can get to 170 pounds at 10% body fat. Currently, I am still cutting. Like I said, I think I'm somewhere around 12 to probably 14% body fat, and I want to start at 10% body fat just so I know exactly how many pounds of lean mass that I need to gain to get to 170 pounds and 10% body fat. My plan is to finish this cut. I'm guessing I'll be somewhere around 145 to 147 pounds at 10% body fat. And then I'm going to start a lean bulk. A lean bulk is where you watch your diet very carefully to make sure that you're not gaining fat too much. In the past, when I bulked, I had kind of a hard time gaining weight, and so I just stuffed anything that I could into my face. And honestly, that was what I needed at that time. I had just so hard a time gaining weight that really made a difference for me. But eventually, I realized that I started gaining fat too quickly, and that was one big key contributing factor to my slowing down, because I would gain a lot more fat than I would muscle. After my cut is over, I am hoping to gain between 1/4 pound and 1/2 pound of weight every single week. What I'll be doing to do that is tracking my calories very consistently. The first thing you need to know is what your TDEE is, your total daily energy expenditure. For me, it's about 2,500 calories. And in my cut right now, I'm at about 1,800 calories because I'm towards the end of my cut. So I am burning an additional 700 calories every single day. And you need to either burn or be in excess of over 3,000 calories to change your weight by 1 pound. So I'm hoping that over the next 40 weeks, I will gain somewhere around 20 pounds. And if I'm really, really lucky, 10 of those pounds will be muscle. That depends a lot on my genetics and how well I train. So I'm gonna have to have a very good training program. What training program am I going to follow? This is where it gets tricky again because my work schedule is insane. I have a regular job. I work 3 days a week. I'm gone for about 15 hours every single day. So working on those 3 days is almost out of the question for me. However, I am really lucky to work at a place where they will let me work out for 1 hour every single week. And that's on the clock. So I work Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And like I said, those days are pretty much out of the question for lifting besides that 1 hour that my employer gives me. Then on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I am going to be lifting pretty hard on those 3 days. So I'm getting a total of 4 days a week of lifting, which should be plenty to make incredible gains. 5 days a week would be more optimal, but 4 days a week is almost just as good, believe it or not. Another big trick that I have with my work week is that I had to wake up at 4:30 every single day to go to work. Like I said, I work long hours on those days. Now, waking up at 4:30 causes some serious issues with your sleep if you're not very careful. I had to get to bed at like 9 o'clock to make maximum muscle gains, and that is very tricky when you are a family guy like I am. So this challenge for myself is going to be a serious challenge. I have got to optimize my training, I've got to get good sleep with my work schedule, and I have to track my daily calories very, very carefully. Oh wait, I forgot the biggest thing, my injuries. What am I going to do to prevent myself from getting injured like I have in the past? If you have some injuries, I'll tell you what has been working for me lately. Every time I want to start lifting again, I start going heavy, going hard, and within about 3 weeks, my elbow starts hurting. Well, I have very good news. I've been lifting for 3 months right now with almost no pain in my elbows. What have I done? I used to lift in a 4 to 6 rep range. So that would mean if I could get 4, that means I was good to keep lifting that amount of weight. And once I got 6 reps, I would have to add weight to the bar. That's called double progression. And it's a surefire way to make sure that you get gains. However, I'm getting a little bit older. So what I've done in the past 3 months is change my rep range to 8 to 12. So I'm lifting lighter weights and it's easier on my joints. I'm also trying to incorporate more machine work, which in the past I was a diehard only free weights kind of guy. To be honest, I wish I could still do free weights. I just enjoy free weights more. But you know what? Machines are cool too. They're growing on me a little bit. The second thing that I've done to help prevent my injury is after every single workout, I cold plunge my elbows. Now, don't go and cold plunge your elbows right after your workout. That's not what I meant to say. I meant the day of. There have been a lot of studies that have shown that cold plunging right after a workout can stunt those gains. So you want to wait at least 4 hours, probably preferably more like 12 hours after a workout to give yourself a good ice plunge. The ice plunge on my elbows, I am telling you, have made a huge difference for me. They bring the inflammation down, and I am just speaking from straight experience. I cold plunge my elbows for about 10 minutes, 10 hours after every single lift that uses my elbows. I'm also taking magnesium, vitamin D, vitamin Bs, and vitamin Cs, as well as collagen, trying to encourage my tendons to grow well, to repair well. And then I give them a massage. Yeah, that's right, every single time I use them heavy, I have to give my elbows a massage. Every single workout. It's very tedious, but it's worth it for me because I have goals that I want to reach, and I have not been able to thus far because of those injuries. I even have a little shoulder injury that I'm nursing as well, and I basically am doing the same thing. And everything that I've told you so far has been an absolute game changer in my lifting routine. Like I said, I've been lifting for 3 months very consistently, somewhat heavy, and have almost no pain in my joints. So if you have injuries like that, I would definitely recommend giving something like that a try and see if you have the same luck that I did with those injuries. Thank you so much for coming with me on this journey. We're gonna remember this day and see if I can do it. Just give me even 3 years. If you want to go on this journey with me, please like this video and subscribe. I'll be posting updates on my journey frequently. I'll let you know how the progress is going. If I'm doing things right, it'll be going right. If I'm doing things wrong, it'll be going wrong, and I'll have to make adjustments. And you can learn with me. If I can be 170 pounds at 10% body fat in 3 years, that will be an incredible success for me. It starts now. Let's see if we can do it. Thank you for watching this entire video. You're an absolute savage.